The night was silent. There was no wind, there were no animals. Only the moon watched the forest. Deep under the cold ground, something moved. A hand broke the soil. Slowly, painfully. The body rose. Mileena opened her eyes. She did not breathe, her heart did not beat. But she was awake. The moon above her was red, like blood. Its light touched her pale face. Her eyes changed color. They were no longer human. They were dark red, full of hunger and memory. Mileena stood up. Her black dress was torn. Her long hair was dirty and wet with soil. She looked down at her hands. They were shaking. "I am alive," she whispered. But she knew the truth. She was not alive. A voice came from inside her mind. Soft, cold. "Choose your blood, or blood will choose for you." Mileena closed her eyes. She remembered fire, pain, death. She remembered falling into darkness. Season 1 had ended with her death. But death did not want her. Mileena walked through the forest. Every step felt heavy, but her body was strong, stronger than before. She heard sounds far away, heartbeats, human heartbeats. Her mouth became dry, her throat burned, hunger filled her body like fire. She stopped. "No," she said, "not yet." In the distance, she saw lights. A village. People were awake, living normal lives, laughing, talking, breathing. She could go there, she could feed. But something inside her stopped her. This hunger was different. It was deeper, older. It was not only hers. The old church. Before sunrise, Mileena reached an old stone church outside the forest. It had been abandoned. For hundreds of years, humans believed it was cursed. They were right. She pushed open the heavy door and walked inside. The air was cold. Candles lit themselves. 5 shadows appeared. 5 figures stood in a circle. Their eyes glowed in the dark. "The blood carrier has returned," one of them said. Mileena did not speak. She knew who they were. The Vampire Council. Ancient vampires. Older than kingdoms. Older than names. "You died," another voice said. "And you returned," said a third. The tallest figure stepped forward. "Your blood is not normal, Mileena." She raised her head. "You knew," she said. "You always knew." The figure nodded. "You carried the blood of the first line." The truth. They showed her a book. Its cover was made of skin. Its pages were dark red. "This is the Book of Oaths," the leader said. He opened it. Words appeared slowly, like fresh blood. "When the red moon rises, the blood carrier will wake. 3 paths will open. 1 leads to sacrifice. 1 leads to death. 1 leads to eternal night." Mileena shook her head. "What does this mean?" she asked. "It means," the leader said, "that you are the key." The council told her the truth. Her death was planned. Her pain was needed. Everything she suffered in season 1 was part of a ritual. "You used me," she said quietly. "Yes," one vampire answered. "To stop something worse." Valerius, they spoke his name with fear. Valerius, the first vampire. The creator of the curse. "He sleeps," the leader said. Bound under the earth, Mileena felt something move inside her. "He is connected to me," she whispered. "Yes," said the council. "Your blood keeps him asleep." Her hands clenched. "And if I die?" she asked. The room went silent. "Then he wakes up. The choice begins." The candles went out. Mileena stepped back. "You will not control me," she said. She turned and ran. The church shook, but it did not stop her. Outside, the sky began to change. The moon was rising again. Red. The village that night. Mileena returned to the village. Not to hunt, but to see. She stood outside one house. A man sat inside, alone. He was older now, tired, broken. He was the man she once loved. Her hand touched the door. She felt his heartbeat, strong, warm. Tears fell from her eyes. Red tears. "If I enter," she whispered, "I will kill him." She stepped back and ran into the dark. Blood at dawn. Hunger finally won. In the forest, a hunter walked alone. He carried a knife. He did not see her. Mileena moved fast. Too fast. She held him down. Her fangs touched his neck. The blood was hot, sweet. Power filled her body. She stopped. She pushed him away. The man lived. Mileena screamed. The ground shook. The moon turned darker. Far away, something smiled in its sleep. Mileena ran deep into the dark forest alone. Her body was strong, but her mind felt weak. The words of the council stayed in her head. You are the key. You are the blood. She stopped near a dead tree and listened. The forest was quiet, but not empty. Red eyes opened in the shadows around her. She was not alone anymore. The council was watching her every move. They did not trust her escape. One ancient vampire stepped out of the dark. His voice was calm, cold, and very old. You cannot run from your blood, he said. Your destiny walks with you. Mileena showed her fangs and stepped back. I will not be your weapon, she replied. The vampire smiled slowly and raised his hand. The ground began to shake under her feet. Visions filled Mileena's eyes with burning pain. She saw fire, blood, and a sleeping monster. A name echoed inside her broken mind. Valerius was calling her from the dark. Mileena screamed and fell to her knees. Her power reacted without control. The shadows exploded like broken glass. The ancient vampire disappeared in fear. Mileena stood up, breathing without breath. She understood one clear truth now. The council was afraid of her true power, and Valerius was slowly waking up. Episode 3. The Sleeping Evil. Night fell heavier than before over the land. The red moon stayed high in the dark sky. Mileena walked alone toward the old ruins. She felt a pull deep inside her blood. Each step made her head hurt more and more. A strange voice whispered her name softly. She reached a stone door under the earth. The air was cold and smelled of old blood. Symbols were carved into the broken walls. They glowed when Mileena touched the stone. Suddenly the ground began to shake again. A deep sound came from far below her feet. Valerius moved inside his endless sleep. His power searched for Mileena's blood. Mileena fell back and held her head tight. Memories not her own filled her mind. She saw a man become the first vampire. She saw fire, death, and endless darkness. The voice grew louder inside her thoughts. Come closer, it said with dark hunger. Mileena stood up and wiped blood tears. I will not free you, she said loudly. The ruins reacted to her growing power. Chains of light formed under the ground. Valerius screamed but did not wake fully. The seal was weak, but still holding. Mileena ran before the power broke free. She knew time was running out fast now. One truth was clear inside her mind. The next choice would change everything. Morning light touched the forest very softly. Mileena hid deep under broken stone walls. The sun burned her skin more than before. Her blood was changing inside her body. She remembered a time when she was human. Warm hands, simple smiles, a calm life. Those memories felt far and very painful. She pressed her hand to her cold chest. A sound reached her ears from far away. Human voices were close to her hiding place. Mileena watched a small group pass slowly. They talked and laughed without any fear. Her hunger returned like a sharp knife. She turned her face away from the sound. Suddenly she saw a man she once loved. He walked alone with tired eyes. Her heart felt empty, not dead this time. She wanted to call his name softly, but she stayed silent and in the dark. Her touch would bring only death now. Tears mixed with blood ran down her face. The sun climbed higher in the sky. Mileena moved deeper underground again. She chose pain instead of killing. Far away, unseen eyes watched her choice. The council was losing control, and Valerius felt her mercy clearly. It made his prison weaker than before. Episode 5. The First Choice. Night returned with heavy clouds and cold air. Mileena walked fast through the dark forest. Her hunger was stronger than any night before. Each step felt harder to control. She heard a man walking with slow fear. A hunter moved alone between the trees. Mileena watched him from the shadows. His heart beat loud inside her mind. She tried to turn away and run again, but her body did not listen this time. In 1 second she stood behind the man. Her hand covered his mouth in silence. Her fangs touched his warm, shaking neck. The smell of blood filled her senses. She drank, but stopped before it was late. The man fell to the ground, still alive. Mileena pulled back and screamed in pain. Her choice burned inside her chest. The forest shook like it felt her fear. Dark energy moved under the earth. Far below, chains began to crack slowly. Valerius opened his eyes in the dark. Mileena felt his smile in her blood. Her mercy had a terrible price. She understood the cruel truth at last. Every choice would wake the evil more. The old church filled with cold, dark air. The vampire council met again in silence. 5 ancient figures stood in a circle. Their eyes burned with quiet fear. One voice broke the heavy stillness. "She is becoming too strong," it said. Another answered with anger and doubt. "We lost control the moment she rose." A third vampire stayed very quiet. His shadow moved without sound. Secret thoughts lived inside his mind. He feared Valerius more than death. When the council turned away slowly, he opened a hidden stone door below. Dark symbols began to glow on the floor. Blood magic flowed from his hands. Far away, Mileena felt sharp pain. Her blood reacted to the spell. She fell to her knees in the forest. The ground opened under her feet. Chains around Valerius cracked again. His deep laugh filled the darkness. The traitor smiled in the empty church. He had chosen fear over loyalty. Above ground, the moon turned darker. Betrayal had changed the balance. Mileena whispered one broken promise. "I will end this, or I will fall." Thunder rolled above the old stone church. Dark clouds covered the moon in silence. Mileena entered with burning red eyes. Her presence shook the ancient walls. The council turned toward her in shock. They felt her power had fully changed. "Who betrayed me?" Mileena asked coldly. Her voice cut through the dark air. No one answered her simple question. Fear filled the circle like poison. Suddenly, the traitor stepped forward. Blood magic glowed on his hands. He raised his arms and spoke dark words. The floor cracked open beneath them. Shadows attacked from every direction. The council fought with ancient power. Time slowed around Mileena's body. Blood floated like red glass in air. She moved faster than sight or thought. One by one, shadows fell silent. The traitor tried to run into darkness. Mileena stopped him with one hand. "You chose fear," she said softly, "and fear ends here." The church collapsed into broken stone. The council's rule ended that night. Mileena stood alone in the ruins. Only one truth remained clear. Valerius was no longer asleep. Episode 8. The Last Balance. The red moon filled the sky with dark light. The earth opened under the old ruins. Valerius rose from his endless prison. His eyes burned like ancient fire. "You are my blood," he said slowly. "You cannot escape what you are." Mileena stood strong before the darkness. Her body shook, but her mind stayed clear. She saw 3 paths inside her thoughts: death, sacrifice, or endless night. Valerius stepped closer with a cold smile. "Choose," he whispered into her mind. Mileena closed her eyes without fear. She made a choice no one expected. She turned her power inward at last. Her blood burned with pure white light. The ground screamed as chains formed again. Valerius was pushed back into the dark. Mileena fell to her knees in silence. Her body changed between life and death. The moon returned to its pale light. The night finally began to breathe. Valerius was sealed, but not destroyed. His voice faded with a promise. "This is not the end," he said. Mileena stood as something new. Not human, not vampire, balance. Far away, humans felt the change. A new age had quietly begun.